Okay.
Nope. Now you're live.
Hello, folks. Just pretend last week didn't happen. Hopefully you can hear us this week. We had some mechanical difficulties that we could not overcome. So hopefully this week will be a lot more, I was going to say visible, but you really can't see much anyway, so.
Maybe somebody could just drop us a note if you can hear us. I see there are 2 viewers out there right now. So.
2?
All of 2, but it's early.
That's true. Well, Nancy's probably, well, I don't know if she's home yet. So, in the assumption that you can hear us, we'll start out as usual with the town clerk's report. The town clerk she's not up, but she's sitting patiently.
Yep. All right. Well, everything's going really well. We are tying up election work. We're almost done. We're actually waiting for the state to finish up their absentee reconciliation for the other towns. Once we get the green light on that, the state will turn on our voter participation history, so we can start working on that, and that will be our last piece. So, looking forward to be done with election work.
What is that, Danielle? The voter participation history?
Yep, we have to scan every single barcode for the voters on their in the incoming voter list, and we'll have a count of everybody who's participated.
Yeah.
We have to
It's a history of who voted.
Name, number?
Well, they scan a barcode on the incoming voting list.
Okay.
The ones that are checked off.
Even so, it's nothing more than the 800 and something that we
Right.
think voters are.
It's supposed to come out
The same number?
same number.
Okay, all right.
Occasionally we'll miss one on checking the incoming voting list.
Okay.
But that didn't happen. I'm sure we had pros on the incoming
I mean,
list.
I didn't think it went over demographics or anything.
Oh, no, it's just
regular
who
numbers.
voted. That's
Numbers,
it.
okay.
Yep.
Thanks. Next.
Okay, the last day to pay taxes before interest starts is Wednesday, November 30th. Interest accrues on December 1st. Payments can be dropped off in our drop box if that's more convenient for people after hours. You can also pay online. There's just a 2.5% surcharge when you pay with a card. I did post that link on our Facebook page, and it's always done on our website on the home page for the paying with a card. 89% of the 2022 taxes have been received. The last day to submit property tax stabilization applications is also Wednesday, November 30th. We need to receive those by December 1st. Again, please use the drop box if that's more convenient for you. I have a meeting with M&T Bank on Thursday, December 8th at 10:30. Ann Singleton will be coming out with someone from the corporate office. We're going to be meeting here. We're going to be reviewing the online portal and everything it can do. We're going to get it set up for a debit card, so no more personal charges and reimbursing people. And we're also going to discuss the analysis statement that was received and the fees that were waived. So we're going to discuss that in detail.
Can I ask, it's going to be a debit card, not a credit card?
I believe it's from the checking, so it'll be a debit credit card, yeah.
Okay. We've kind of had an unwritten policy that the only people that can take stuff directly out of the account are the state and the feds. So I don't know. I would rather it be a credit card myself.
Well, I'll get some information from her first.
Okay, good.
I received Kristen's RACO report on Kristen's hours for her timesheet, and personally I was a little concerned with one of her report items and just wanted to discuss that a little bit. It's in regards to the Elm Street farm. what I found disturbing was, and I can, on her report, she said basically there were goats, sheep, pigs, ducks, and chicken. No visible water, and the water in the front was frozen. There were bales of hay that were wet and moldy. There's hay in the feeders, but that was also wet and moldy. A couple of the cows looked thin. I put a call into animal welfare to see if they could assist. Nobody came to the door. And I feel like this kind of got left. This Elm Street farm has been ongoing. It'd be nice to see how many times Kristen's been to this farm. I heard that there was a court date that didn't happen, or it did happen and she didn't show up. You know, we get comments in our office a lot about this farm. It's just getting old. Now there's dead goats in the paddock. He keeps adding animals. Is there anything we can do about this and
So
pay attention to it?
she informed me that they never told her about the court date. She said they had all the information. They didn't need her anyways. They had all the pictures of the dead animals, everything from last time, and they just dismissed it. So she's frustrated too, because she puts quite a bit of time into it, and I've been there with her. Jesse Winters has been there with her, and the last time she was there with the I don't know, it's the Humane or the state or whoever it is that comes from the state, spent like a whole, Harvey can attest, she's been there for like a day before with them, and then she goes back to make sure all the changes are made, and they don't really, the state doesn't really do anything. They just said, give them some food, give them some water, remove the 2 dead piglets, and we'll call it good. That's literally what the state does.
Do you
So
have any documentation from the state on this?
she has, as far as I know, she probably can give us everything about this, so we can find out. But I met her down there this time,
Yeah.
and she told me that there was no reason for them to excuse anything, for starters, or to dismiss anything, and she wasn't even informed there was when the court date was. She said, I gladly would have been there, but they never gave me a date when the court date would be there. So this has been going on way before I've been selectman, and I've been selectman for 5 years, and
Yeah.
I've seen
It's old.
multiple times, I've seen 2 or 3 vehicles from the state parked there. This is as far as 10 years ago.
So,
And they never, I don't know, if the state doesn't do anything, I don't know what to do, you know what I mean? Like, I don't know what avenue.
it'd just be nice to see some hardcore documentation in writing from the state where this is at.
Yeah.
And I don't know if
Well,
you know that or not.
I can ask her if she can get something from the state, or we can call the state, and, I don't know, should we call them?
I'd start with Kristen,
She
and
should,
if
I
she,
think, call them, yeah.
if she doesn't have anything or won't give it to us, then I
Okay.
Have
I mean, because
somebody
it's been
in touch
going
with the
on
state.
way before she's been there, but she's been there herself. How long's have she been our animal control officer? 2 or 3 years?
Oh, no.
I've been here for 5.
Longer.
Maybe 4 then, because Ricky was here when I got here.
I don't know how much.
But anyways, it's Ricky used to be down there doing things, I know, and I mean, years ago, I can remember seeing people from the state, like state vehicles with people with state uniforms on, being there, you know, and nothing ever happens.
Let's just say.
My mother gets very upset about it. She takes them all kinds of food all fall. She cleans them out my dad's garden and gives it to the corn. He gives it to the cows, and
I don't know how much our authority extends
Wanna start with
to
Kristen?
something like that.
Yeah. That might be a good question, again, to start with Kristen.
okay, I'll get a hold of Kristen and try to.
Okay,
I'll call her
yeah.
and talk.
Yeah,
And we certainly can talk to MMA about what type of jurisdiction. if
They
any,
literally,
we have.
this is what they tell you. Oh, they got a roof over their head and they got food in front of their face. That's pretty much what they'll give you.
It'd just be nice to see that, and then you take it a step further if you have to.
Yeah.
Find out what division it's coming from, who's it coming from, what are they saying and who's saying it, and then go a step above them.
Yeah.
I mean, this is, like you said, this has been forever.
No, 100%. It's been forever. Yeah.
I mean, realistically, we should have a file this thick on this place,
Right.
and we should have some state documentation on it.
Yep.
all right, see what we can come up with.
Being in the butter, he has 7 cows down there now, I believe. Like the other day, he only had 2 during the summer. And that's way too many for that piece of property they had. There's no water unless it's brought out from the stream that's running through there. I can tell you all kinds of stories about the place. And like I've talked with Kristen a number of times. I've been down there with cows that have been trespassing. I tried that route, and that was over 4 or 5 times, I think. Then you can go to court on it.
Mm-hmm.
But that never came to fruition. So, like I say, the selectmen do have a chance to at least write a letter of concern to him. And that might be one way of talking to him. We can try that.
I don't know. I mean, I knew his wife, knew his son, and he just seems to kind of blow it off. Like when we said he was getting a fine, he said, "I'll just pay my fines, whatever, and take them." Like with all the dead birds he had last year. He said there was a fine per bird. I'll just pay my fines. He says, "Just give me my fines and I'll pay them."
Well, I think they were also concerned
Where's the
about the
fine?
metal that's in the yard.
It was a fair amount, too.
Was it real?
Yeah, no, the animals pick up the iron. I'm sure the cows are full of iron.
That front pot, that's the leaching bed. It's the only water that those animals have right there is part of the leaching bed.
Yep.
It would be just nice to see in a document exactly what the state is saying.
Yeah, all right. We'll find
Okay.
out.
We'll get back to you. We've reviewed and approved the agenda for the last week and this week. And we're signing the bills to be paid and the checks to be issued. While that's going on, there are no new ads in the shopping guide. Just that you will see your the second ad for the special town meeting. Mostly concerned about the how we spend the government's money as far as doing things for the town. If you'd like to show up, show up.
Well, I'd like to make it a little stronger than that. We
Please
encourage
show
you
up.
to show up. It's monies that are going to be spent, and we need to make sure that you concur.
You can lead a horse to water. People, I mean, for a regular town meeting,
Yeah.
50 people show up. That's a high number.
I understand. So let's encourage them.
Well, we try, all 3 or 4 people listening, we encourage you
Okay.
to come and tell somebody.
Tell your neighbors, yeah, absolutely.
CEO report, no CEO report this week. York County Sheriff, same thing. Animal Control Officer, we did have a report that our town clerk quoted part of it about the condition of the farm on Elm Street. There were 3 or 4 other issues during that period. Penn Dexter, North Road, Weeks Road. In those cases, generally the animal control officer has to go back because no one answers the door. But finally gets in touch with somebody, either gives them a summons or a warning or tells them what they're doing wrong. So it's a continuing process. There is a planning board meeting right now, scheduled for December 21st. And we know there's a comprehensive committee meeting today at 6 o'clock. As mentioned in last week and this week also, the issue with Reed Lane and the mill building are ongoing. The town's working up a purchase and sales agreement with Millworks LLC. The Stanley Building, as you folks know, was postponed. If you were planning to listen to the oral arguments, that has been rescheduled for, I hate to say this, but
It's on the agenda.
down below somewhere.
Number 8. 6-8. It's scheduled for January 5th at 2:30 p.m.
Okay. And we'll give, and the information on how to get to that meeting is on the website. If I could get. We have, in connection with the mill, Keezer Falls Millwork, went before the Saco River Corridor Commission with a pretty extensive application. Actually, it's a renewal of the original permit that was issued a few years ago, because this has dragged out a long time. I'm just looking at part of something I wanted to share with you folks. This permit that they just got is for phase 1 of the project, for the maintenance and repair of buildings, possible installation of solar arrays, reconnection of power and water, the establishment of 2 small buildings, and continued use of certain buildings for storage. That's what the Saco River Commission has approved. Each of these individual things will go through the planning board. But that's the plan right now, just as soon as they sign the purchase and sale agreement, and just as soon as the courts hear and make their decision on the Stanley Building. There's nothing on Secaucus Road. Right there,
That's
just,
correct, yeah.
that's in limbo right now. I hear the state on TV saying, or the Central Maine Power on TV saying, oh, we can handle these things, and we've got plenty of capacity to do these things, but why are we hung up for months trying to get approval to start a project? I don't know. I'm sure our solar people are very concerned about it, because they're paying lease money to the town and they're not getting any return.
Futures. Futures.
Yeah. We have a request from Kenny Beerbank, our fire chief, to have a budget workshop December 15th to go over his budgets for next year.
Is that maybe supposed to be the 13th,
Yes,
Debbie?
it is. I
Okay.
just looked at the calendar.
Thank you.
Why does it say the 15th?
Because
Because
the
it's
3
wrong.
turned into a 5.
Oh, okay, well, that happens. Didn't turn into an 8 anyways, that's good. The Shakopee Rescue budget, we have a pretty detailed budget for them. Remember, the other towns are 3 months ahead of us, so they get this information. They need this information for the other towns. We really don't need it right now, but it's nice to know. Jesse went to the meeting last, David went to the,
We both did.
both did. However, Jesse is our official representative to this, so if you care to say something, or you could defer to David, whatever, you can do whatever you want.
No, we really don't have to say anything because Ron drives a pretty hard bargain
Yeah.
and is on top of most everything. I personally am pleased with the results that we've seen through these, that you actually can see results now that we have a rescue report. And I am assuming that the other towns that render mutual aid are also happy because there's much less mutual aid being given to us than was before. I think he has a fairly decent grasp on things, and it appears that we're going to be set up not too bad going forward as far as a new ambulance schedule, and by the middle of next summer, I'm going to say we're going to have a third ambulance, a brand new ambulance. Because they are now staffing one ambulance around the clock.
Correct.
And the second one, they've taken it upon themselves to bump up to 48 hours a week.
From 30?
From 30.
Okay.
So I'm going to say within the next 5 years, we're going to have 2 ambulances on the clock, round the clock, maybe. Maybe that's
Okay,
hopeful, but that's my
is
guess.
this new one gonna replace?
Yeah, so we have one that's defunct right now.
Okay.
We have one that's a loaner.
Right.
So we're purchasing a used one that we should have, what'd he say, maybe a couple weeks, Dave?
Couple of weeks, yeah.
We'll have the new used one in a couple weeks.
That will replace the loaner?
And we're keeping the loaner, I believe, until we get the new one.
Yeah, okay.
I think that's what they
You're
said. We're
probably
keeping
right.
the
Yeah.
loaner because we're getting the new one from whatever, this company, same
Okay.
company that gave us the loaner. So they're letting us use the loaner until
So
we get
we
the
have
new
the
one.
potential to have 3 rescue.
Well, yes, and if one's ever down, we'd be stuck with one ambulance if we only had 2. So
Now,
essentially,
we don't have crews for 3 though.
no, not at all.
Oh.
We don't even have. I mean, we have, but he.
For 1.5,
I believe
yeah.
he said he's up to. I'm not good with EMS lingo, but I don't know if it's paramedics or EMTs. He's up to 6 or 7, whatever
He's
that
got
is.
6 paramedics, which is the highest
That's
level
good,
of
right, yeah.
EMT.
Yes.
Yeah.
So
And he's hoping to
get a couple more.
get a couple more, and also to get 2 full-time crews. Actually, the second crew he's hoping to go to 48 hours per week
Yeah.
because he has enough paramedics
Right.
to cover that, and especially if he gets 2 more on board.
Now, would
Yeah.
48 hours be considered a full shift or a full week, or how do they?
Oh, that's more than a full week. I mean,
Yeah.
it would be because there are enough people to cover that 48 hours that he'd be covering that. This is with full-time crews in the rescue barn, ready to go.
Okay, now that means there's 1 crew there now.
Yes.
Well,
That
for
mean there'd be another crew there for 48 hours? Okay.
Yes, it may not be the same
and he is part
I
of.
understand, but
Yeah, yes.
He's there a lot.
Yeah.
And he is the paramedic on the second crew when he is there.
Okay.
He said he does stuff in the office until the second crew needs to go out, and then he goes.
Yeah. He's an intermediate. He's not a paramedic.
Oh, okay.
He said that last night. I didn't realize that. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. But he will, I mean, he can go on calls. Some calls don't require
Correct,
a paramedic.
right.
Yeah. Yes.
But he's part of the second crew.
Right.
While he's there.
Yeah.
Okay. We had a note from Jen Lewis. I don't know if you folks are she's spearheading an effort to try and get senior citizens more involved in town activities and developing town activities for senior citizens, i.e. pickleball, cornhole, and she's setting up lunches and coffees for senior citizens, and those dates will be published in the shopping guide and on the website but it's sort of figure on the first of the year, probably, things like that getting really underway. We've made the town gymnasium and the kitchen available so that they have the ability to have a lot of space and maybe get a lot of people that wouldn't have an opportunity to get out or go anywhere, to be able to go somewhere and interact with other, their neighbors.
And I think she was asking to change the pickleball date from Wednesdays to Thursdays.
Okay. What, we don't have,
No, I don't have a problem. Again, you have to watch out for any interaction with our boards. The appeals board typically met on Thursdays, or meets on Thursdays when they
yeah,
have.
that's in the evening, right?
Right,
And
right.
this is,
I understand. She just needs to be made aware
Oh,
of
okay,
that,
right.
that's all. Because they have volunteered to set things up
yeah,
after their pickleball.
Okay. So it's okay.
Yep,
Okay, thank you.
it'd be nice if she sent us the final schedule, like, of her activities, of what they're scheduled for December.
Right, well,
And then
she,
keep
in
it
her
going.
letter, she says that she will do that.
Well, I mean, right, because we could have, she could coordinate with you, Danielle, is when you put the town activities on your calendar,
Yes, exactly.
to include those activities also.
I mean, this almost sounds like the cornhole and coffee is gonna start next week. Because she said she's getting an ad in the shopping guide this week. So, don't quote me on that. Watch the shopping guide and the website. Unless you know, Danielle.
She
For
did
sure.
send me an email, I haven't got to it today.
Okay,
But
yep.
I was, after you guys approved it, I was gonna post the details.
Super.
The property tax fairness credit that you have to have signed up for, I believe, by the end of the month.
No.
No.
That's a different one.
Yeah, this is a new state program that's actually handled by Maine Revenue. It's not handled by the towns. It's an exemption for disabled veterans. And so the town, you may have questions about it. We don't know a whole lot about it. You need to go to the website, which I'm sure we can get posted. Get you a link to that.
But it just concerns disabled veterans.
Disabled veterans,
Okay.
yeah, yeah.
It's not in conjunction with anything else that
Nope.
stabilizes
Nope.
whatever. Okay.
That's correct.
Nothing from the road commissioner?
He did a culvert today. I think, well, I shouldn't even say that. Maybe it wasn't on town road. Maybe it was someone else, but I'm pretty sure it was on town road. When I talked to him, he was replacing the culvert this morning.
Yeah.
I assume it was on a town road somewhere. We'll find out next week.
Okay, and Dave, you said he picked up our speed sign,
Yeah, he didn't come and get the key, so
bolt cutter.
I guess.
But the speed sign is gone from in front of Walker's.
Yeah,
Don't go any faster. And we're just storing it in Meyer's garage until next spring.
till the snow goes.
I do have a comment. I did talk to Maya, and I apologize, it's on your agenda. He wanted to look at the possibility of getting his full-time guy health insurance. It's not currently in the personnel policy. Jeff currently works close to 40 hours, spring, summer, fall, until snow. So I just want to bring that up. He asked me about it, and I told him I'd bring it up at the meeting, so.
I think the big thing, we're not budgeted for it.
Yeah, we
But look at the personnel policy.
could, well, personnel, it's not part of the personnel
Right.
policy,
He's not
as he just said.
How?
It can be modified though.
What do you have
Oh,
to?
yeah, yeah.
What do you have to work?
30 hours.
30 to get health insurance? I mean, if he divvied it up, his hours up 40 a week through the winter months, would it, is that a possibility to show?
He works in the summer too, doesn't he?
Yes.
Doing
Right, but
That's when he works.
That's
Right.
when he works, but I'm saying for the 3 seasons, if he divvied those hours up through the winter, I don't know.
Why don't we check to see what he worked last year?
Yeah,
How many hours,
For
total
20,
hours?
Yeah,
yeah.
Yeah,
for 21, and then we can look at 22 and then.
yeah, so he'd have to have around 1,500 or so
Something to go on.
to be around 30 hours a week, roughly.
An hour, an annual.
And if not, I don't think it's a bad idea. It is, when he has somebody that he can depend on that shows up, he doesn't have to be told what to do,
Doesn't wreck the equipment.
doesn't do anything to the equipment. He's,
Right.
and he's kind of good with public relations sometimes.
Right. I don't, Is he considered a full-time employee? He's not really, is he?
No, but I'm saying I wouldn't mind amending the thing to show that.
Yeah,
Yeah, I think we need to be a little careful because spreading hours out when he doesn't really work is a different issue.
Yeah.
So we need to look at it. We'll find out how much he worked. It's certainly a possibility. My guess is we might not be able to do it until the new fiscal year, though,
right.
because that's
Yeah,
a pretty big hit.
Yeah.
Yeah. But, yeah, I'd certainly be for it, but let's talk about it. Yeah. Good, thank you.
Okay. Anyone have any extraneous, additional?
Hopefully the siding will be done by Christmas. I did receive word that he was coming still.
We've got a race going on between the siding people and the generator people. See who gets here first.
Yeah,
It's not a high-speed
The video
race.
Yeah.
people have dropped out of the race.
Yeah. So hopefully they won't come the same day. The generator people did install underground piping for the electrical lines and for the gas line. And that was kind of a surprise. They were supposed to let us know, and they apologized after the fact for not letting us know. But they assured us that they will let us know when the generator itself is going in. I assume that somebody will have to be here before that with the pad, but I haven't heard. So.
Yeah, when I got my smaller generator, but the pad was all precast
Oh, I'm sure
concrete.
somebody
They
has
just,
Right, they may
Yeah.
bring it on the
Drop it
same,
in.
they have a little crane on their truck
Yeah.
for the
Yeah.
generator too. They may
Right.
bring it at the same time. It's
Yeah.
possible.
Could
Yeah.
be.
Yeah. Some
But
companies
they're
are
gonna have to do
different.
some leveling out there.
Right, they're all,
Somebody.
correct.
Yeah.
Some companies do it ahead of time and I've seen them do it at the same
Yeah.
time. so.
Yeah, the only reason I think it may be ahead of time is because he said his excavator was doing this and he was a separate entity. But who knows?
Yep.
All right, that's about all I have.
and as far as the meetings are concerned, I was just talking to David, and because he's gonna be gone for a few days, whether he wanted some help, and he said he had sent emails to 3 additional companies to get some quotations on getting this up and running here and in the planning board room and possibly the main gym.
This is cameras.
Cameras,
I
right.
need to say that.
Well,
You and I
we've been
know,
we've
but
been talking about cameras in here.
I know. Yep,
for 3 years now.
yep.
Okay, folks, Harvey, I know you mentioned can you see Harvey?
I can see.
Harvey had one
No.
surgery. So you're all set for your comprehensive meeting tonight?
Yes, we are.
Okay.
Have 7 chapters completed now.
7?
Oh,
7
Out of how many?
out of, I think, about 10.
Oh, outstanding.
So, but we got the tough ones coming up, which are due to, hopefully not get into too many problem areas as far as ordinances and things like that. We're in statistics and how we feel about the town, what we project the town to look like, and so on and so forth. So that might have some controversial.
Well, there were some surveys done, right, which I'm sure you guys have.
So we're moving right along, and we expect to have, hopefully this to be ratified by the next town meeting.
Okay.
But it'll probably need a hearing before then to go over the whole thing. And I'm not sure how we're gonna do that. Do we produce copies? Do we have somebody come in, we give them a slideshow? I don't know how we're
Well,
gonna
we
do
can see what the other towns did.
Yeah, we'll figure that out when we get to it. But that's a good point to be at.
Yeah, thanks, Art. We have the owners of Millworks LLC present. Do they have any?
We're just looking
Pertinent
forward to
comments.
getting it done, you know,
All right.
hammering it out and stuff. It sounds like we wait to hear from our attorney who was out of town for a few days for the holidays, so for Thanksgiving. So hopefully, maybe next week.
Okay.
Let's hope.
January what, 5th? This is the next hearing?
that's the Collins.
That's the
space.
Peter Collins.
But we're talking about trying to get our thing wrapped up.
Yeah,
before-
Kind of connected. The
You
attorney,
know, after this purchase and sales, you folks can do really anything you want to the property.
That's what we're looking forward to.
You can
That's what we're looking
replace
forward to.
windows and put power in and.
Paint, I know you're looking forward to some paint. Ed.
Yeah,
we've
keep the
got
Christmas lights
That's,
burning.
we got the Christmas lights, Scott's been working on that, you know?
Been meeting with tenants that want to get in there,
Good, nice.
just weekly.
Yeah,
We had a big meeting this past weekend, and so just gonna start at one end and start cleaning and fitting and demoing. Can't wait.
One thing was, I'm still trying to, I think, understand is the timing of those environmental,
yeah, that was
Reports.
like a 6-month,
well, that's,
Process
see,
or something, or-
the previous ones were done and there was a spread of 6 months on them between the first one and the second one that came up, that's phase 2. So we're hoping that isn't the case, that they have that much of a spread between, that's if you have to do the
well, you
phase
think
2.
since they've done it once, that-
You would think, but you
Oh,
would think
no.
that, you would think that they do it once and it's done, it's
Yeah,
over.
you would
But
think.
that's not what we find out. It's, they have to
Redo
renew
'em.
them, up, and then it's a matter of if phase 1 determines if they have to do the phase 2.
was
Like I
this-
said, when the town did it the first time, between the first one and the second one, it was almost 7 months difference. We're trying to squeeze it down in the work we've done. It's listed as 2 months. And I'm just, like I said, we'll speak to our attorney about
Did
that.
did the Saco River, was that sort of expedited because you were a reapplication type of thing, or did they have to drag that out too?
No, they were cool. They were
Yeah,
just,
they're very cool.
they just understand where we're at. We're kind of stuck in a limbo.
Okay.
And so they're like, okay, yeah, it was just a renewal.
Yeah, they're well
Oh,
versed.
good, okay.
Yeah, so they're well aware, yeah. So
Good. All right, thank you.
anyway, so if you guys hopefully get your attorney on board and ours and
Yeah,
get
well,
them together.
as I said, I contacted ours today, and he was gonna be in conversation with your attorney.
We're loving to put that to bed.
I'm hoping that the two attorneys say, okay, A and B, and your attorney says, okay, and our attorney says, okay, compromise on this, and they come back and say, can you guys live with this? And they say, can you guys, the town, live with this? And then,
Yeah, we'd love to, because I fly back out on December 10th, so I'd love to just, whatever we gotta do, put our heads together, get it done.
okay,
And then, like I said, the only one is, like, if there's any kind of latitude with those dates that are a part of that environmental,
yeah,
and how that would work, and then, of course, it's trying to work it in conjunction with whatever was happening with this Collins
Right.
litigation, so stuff we don't really have any control of the dates. If we could just do it and cut it short, we could, but we...
so as soon as we get firm dates, then that's when the real dates kick in as far as your responsibilities.
The environmental stuff that has to be
Right.
transferred.
So maybe we can pin them down a bit and say, hey, can we make these dates happen for what we gotta do? I've got calls and emails into them, so I'll go back at them and see if we can prompt them on that.
Okay.
I got a question about the snow, snow on the bridge. So that's, the line is right there before you go across the bridge. So that's Porter's responsibility, is that it, on the walkways, or
They split it. Are they supposed to
split it.
split it?
split
Yeah.
it? And,
Porter's line is on the other side of the bridge.
Yeah.
so you do split it.
Yeah.
Well, when you said the line is right on our side of the bridge, well, Porter's line is on the other side of the bridge because we don't own to the center of the river, we own to the edge of the river. Get my drift?
So,
So basically.
I shouldn't say own, the town property isn't to the center of the river.
Okay.
It's not?
It's state property, waterway, yeah.
that's it.
Oh, so it's to this bank.
Yeah, but we split it with them.
Okay.
Somehow the plow guys figure it out and they're supposed to hire somebody. It works better when they hire the same person because they do it at the same time and do it all, but
Do the whole
sometimes they can't collectively get together in the past and hasn't worked out that way, but
Does that include the sidewalks?
No, that.
That is the sidewalk
That
I'm
is the
talking
sidewalk.
about, yeah.
Yeah,
The
just
road
pavement.
is the road, yes.
Okay.
And so,
The only time it's ever been done well is when they had the guy that did it with a snow blower on his tractor. And it was perfect every single storm.
wow,
He did it the night
Yeah.
night it snowed, so before it froze, he made 2 passes. One pass down the breakdown lane, drove back across. Second pass, he could fit his tractor perfectly right on the sidewalk. That was it, done. And it worked great. They've never been able to find somebody since that would do that.
we got us a machine
Yeah.
to do it. It's 4-foot wheelbase. We're working on it. We're gonna have to get a good plow rigged on it.
But I don't know how well a plow's gonna work, but
That's my question. Now, I've heard both ways.
you can't dump it into the river. You can snow blow it into the
You
river.
Blow it
can
in.
snow blow it in the river, but you can't shovel it into the river.
Can
You
plow
can
it in?
shovel it, but you can't scoop it with as far as I know, you can shovel it, but you can't scoop it with a mechanized, like a loader or whatever,
Oh, okay.
supposedly. But
What's the thought process on that?
the
Picking
state,
up dirt?
the state
Picking up dirt
probably,
with
yeah.
grease and oil on it?
Could be, I don't know. But I know at the time, the guy was allowed to snow blow it into the river.
Because that's the thing is, the kids, the guys, shovel it. They're, I think, paid. I don't know if you guys kick into that.
No, that comes out of the plow guys.
Okay. Oh, I see. And then the plow comes by, okay, they plow the road, and it all goes up onto the sidewalk.
Yeah, no, I know. And I'm sure
And those guys aren't out there like lickety split.
Yeah, it freezes.
It freezes.
Yeah.
And they can't do a thing.
Mm-hmm.
And there's no room on the quarter side, really, to pile any snow.
No, it honestly should be snow blowed. Like, I don't know if I don't know if the 2 towns could collectively come together and purchase a rugged snow blower, but then again, we'd have to hire somebody to do it, you know what I'm saying? I mean, I don't know, I wish that they would just figure it out themselves and plow guys.
So at the state, if it could be coordinated, if we had a place to push the snow
Mhm.
versus just blowing onto the sidewalk. So if they could like straighten
Yeah, I
it,
know.
push it somewhere, because that's probably, then it,
They don't, yeah. All right.
so
All right,
if it plows.
we'll do the snow plowing, the snow.
That's the dilemma though. So
Thank you for listening, we appreciate it. Hopefully we had more than 2. We're aiming for double digits, that's our goal. Thank you very much.
Had a chance to look.
And then as far as Scott Snow's place,
Is that what they call it?
yeah,
Same thing?